Hi guys, my name is Kirsty and welcome back to Upside Down Books and to another TBR Jar pick. I am so excited. Welcome on, welcome all, welcome back to another month, another TBR Jar pick. It's very exciting, I can't wait to dive in. I've lost my cup of tea. I'm really pleased with how it's going, guys. I am super excited, and I just want to say I'm really excited that everyone else seems to be enjoying these videos too. These have consistently been some of my most viewed videos, so you know, if you're new here, then welcome to my TBR Jar pick. Now, if you are new here, in all seriousness, I will link a card above to when I sort of explained a couple months ago how my TBR Jar system works, because I have 6 jars because I like micromanaging my life is probably the honest answer. I still haven't labelled which jars are which. I'm kind of hoping that I'll do this enough times and I'll remember which one's which, so that's slightly stressing me out, but a minor point because I'm going to edit out the 5 minutes of me trying to work out which jar is which. Anyway, beside the point. It's really been working. I've been having some really great reading months because I've picked out books I'm really excited for. I had a ripper reading month in July. I got through like so many of the books that I picked, and in August I've been really enjoying my picks. Granted, I am filming this like relatively in advance because I'm on top of things. How strange. So I'm like only halfway through August as I'm filming this. I'm only like halfway through my TBR Jar picks, but I'm still loving it and I'm so excited for my picks. And I like that I'm drawing from all different categories. It's working, ladies and gentlemen. I think we found our system. I have actually been toying with the idea, more that I've been resisting the idea to add more jars. I'd love to have more, but I've decided that until I read more, so until I turn into one of the magical unicorn people who can read 30 books a month, I'm not allowed any more jars because I pick enough books as it is. So I think we should just dive in and have a look at what books I'm going to be reading. This is literally the video I look forward to filming the most every month because I am so excited to see what books are gonna make my TBR Jar listing for September. So yeah, here's my September TBR. Now, of course, we have to start this with choosing if I'm going to be picking from my backlist or if I'm going to be picking a prequels and sequels pick. Part of me feels that I should pick prequels and sequels because I picked backlist last month. But because I got Furyborn last month, I'm quite encouraged to try my luck at picking out another amazing book. No, we'll make a deal. Okay, I'm going to pick for my backlist in September, but October I will definitely pick a prequel sequels jar. And if none of this is making sense to you, then please do just go and watch the start of the video for, I think it is June, again linked above, but like a few minutes back, because I'm not going to waste your time by re-explaining for those who do know. So let's do another backlist, so let's start with that. My backlist jar is the biggest one, it's got the most number of books in here, and I have finally updated it with the books that I bought over the last month or two. I don't know how out of date it was for August, but that's beside the point. So there's some new stuff in here as well, which is always exciting. I'm just nervous what it's going to be, so I'll be picking one from here. Oh man, I swear to God, when I pick from my backlist, I always pull out the book I've been thinking about the most. I just pulled out Sapiens. Mixed emotions about this pick. Really excited because I really want to read it, and I've literally been talking about this book this week, thinking about how much I want to read it and kind of resigning myself to the fact that I probably won't for a while because it's quite chunky. So let me get the book. Oh, how exciting though. Left of center. So Sapiens is a brief history of humankind. I believe this is non-fiction, and it's just a very well-known book, but it is quite big. It's quite a hefty book, so it smells so good. I can tell I bought this one from an independent bookstore. Just smells like an independent bookstore. So I'm really excited to read this because I have heard nothing but good things about it. I've been terrified to read it because of how big it is and the fact that I'm pretty sure it is non-fiction. It doesn't even really have, I mean, its blurb is literally, fire gave us power. Farming made us hungry for more. Money gave us purpose, and science made us deadly. It's just like captivating. Oh, I found the actual blurb. Yeah, no, this is a bold and provocative book that explores who we are, how we got here, and where we're going. So it should be interesting, but yeah, it is obviously non-fiction, so that's terrifying to have pulled out A 500-page nonfiction. I did make a list of all my rules, but I don't know where I put it, so that's not particularly helpful. But I believe I did make a rule where if the book is over 500 pages, like if I pull a 500-page book out, then I pick one less book for the month because of practicalities. But this is 498 pages, so that actually doesn't qualify for that rule. Let's just carry on picking. I am very curious to see how far through I get this. I am anticipating I will not finish this in 1 month, but I'm really excited to read it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited to be like actually reading this. I found my pieces of paper, I had to stop and I had to find them because I was getting confused. A refresher of the rules. Let's just take a pause here to remind ourselves of some of the rules. I've got my first rule, which will be choosing between the prequels and sequels. We've established that. We've got the rule where if I pull out a book in this series that I'm not up to, I just read the one that I am up to. And then there's the strict rule on a book that I'm not excited for. I have to read 50 pages and then decide if I'm going to continue or DNF. That's fine. But the page count rules I made was if the book is over 500 pages, I take one less book out for the month. If it's over 700 pages, I pull 2 books less. I also added in a rule where I can, instead of picking 2 out of my presents jar, I can just pick out another arc. So do 2 arcs instead of 2 presents for deadlines that are coming up. But actually, I think we should do arcs next. So for September, I'm actually not going to be picking from my jar because I really want to pick a specific book because of deadlines coming and going. And as much as it's fun to pick the books, I do actually need to focus on some. So in September, I'm going to try reading Crossings by Alex Landragin. I don't know how to say his surname. Landragin. Now this is a very interesting book. It's, I think, got a couple of different stories that are crossing over. We've got a Parisian bookbinder, which has a manuscript containing 3 stories that are all as unlikely as each other. Now, this one really caught my eye. It was part of this big publicity campaign with Pam Macmillan to like travel from home with books. So obviously this one is looking at Paris and I think possibly some other places as well, but I have seen some interesting reviews for this one, so I'm curious about what it's going to be like, but I really did want to pick this one up. So that is going to be my arc for September. Apologies that there was no picking from the jar, but I must prioritize some books over others, so let's move on. That leaves me, I think we're going to do our diversity jar next. So I have added quite a few in. I've probably mostly bought diverse books, which has been really exciting. And as a reminder, diverse books in this jar include books that explore life experiences different to my own or educational about minorities, and etc, etc. So there are many exciting books in here and I will be picking 2. Woohoo! Okay, I just picked out one that I actually just added the other day. So I picked out Sex and Vanity, which is by Kevin Kwan. Excuse the handwriting. I've been writing on the back of ones that I've pulled out to try and save paper there. That's super exciting. Kevin Kwan is the author of Crazy Rich Asians, if that name is not familiar to you. So this is Sex and Vanity. This is a really new release. I heard about this book through the Melbourne Writers Festival and was inspired to pick it up when I saw it in the bookstore. I like the sound of this one. I've included it in my diversity jar because of Kevin Kwan being Singaporean American and often, obviously through Crazy Rich Asians, is writing and looking at an Asian perspective on living in America or different places, and I believe this one follows a main character who is half Singaporean, half American, or is of mixed race. So she's American born with a Chinese mother, and it's looking at the sort of clash in culture that you'll get when you're raised with parents from different backgrounds. So I think this is going to be really good, but also a really fun read. So moving on to the second pick for diversity, I really just want it to be A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, but it's never going to be that because it's the one that I'm so excited for. Oh, this will be interesting. So I pulled out Pantomime. I feel like I'm picking out none of the new ones from my diversity haul. But it's fine, it's fine. I'm just like, hey, I just wanted it to be A Song of Wraiths and Ruin and it wasn't. But Pantomime is one that's been on my list for quite a while now, and it has such an interesting concept. Goodness knows where it is. So Pantomime is by Laura Lamb, and it follows a hermaphrodite who's the main character and is looking into lots of gendered issues and is set in a circus, and I think the main character may be a trapeze artist if the cover is anything to go by. I love the cover for this book for how simple it is. I've heard quite a few good things about it, and I think that this will be a really interesting read, so I am... oh, this has been blurbed by both Leigh Bardugo and Robin Hobb. I am now 100 times more excited than I was before. That's high praise. So this hopefully will be really good. So that's exciting. Lots of books I'm pulling out that are like unexpected books. So the final jar to pick from is the presents jar, my little teeny weeny ones. They're all books that I've collected from my birthday and my Christmas, and Christmas just gone. It's always one that's super exciting to see what's gonna get pulled out. So let's go. Oh, historical fiction. This is going to be quite a non-magical TBR. So The Light Over London is a World War II historical fiction novel. It's quite a small book, which is probably a good thing. So I am looking forward to reading this. This is actually not, this is a newish release, I do believe. So I think we do have your classic sort of dual storyline where we've got someone who's a descendant from the family who's like an antiques jeweler, and then she uncovers a secret and we start looking at like their great-grandmother or their grandmother during the war. So that's sort of the same plotline we've got. We've got an RAF pilot in this one, and I think there's a romance in it as well, and she's a gunner girl. I don't know what a gunner girl means. I assume shooting, but other than that, not 100% sure. I have heard some good things about this one as well, so I'm really looking forward to reading that. Getting a little bit nervous by the fact that we've got non-fiction, strange historical fiction, and then 2 light books. So let's pray for fantasy. Oh, I am really excited for this one, but it's a big one. Can you see the stress that's sort of in my face for how this TBR has turned out? So I have pulled out The Lies of Locke Lamora. This has been like on my radar since the beginning of time. It's not even funny how long I've been wanting to read this for. So this is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is a fantasy story. I've heard like literally endless good things about this series. I've been wanting to pick it up for ages, but it's just one of those ones that I just never got around to buying, and I recently acquired it for my birthday and was so excited to pick it up. So we've got like a master thief, a swordsman. I do believe surely there's some magic in here as well. Perhaps not, perhaps it's just an epic fantasy. I could be wrong there. Again though, this is a little bit of a big book, so this one's actually over 500 pages. Okay, so technically speaking I should have retrospectively sacrificed a book from my TBR, but I'm gonna just kind of ignore that rule because I really want to read this. So I am concerned about this TBR, so let's have a look at what we've got. We've got our 6 books for the month. I haven't got any ebooks in the wings, which I've been attempting to read ebooks in August as well as my normal TBR. I will be reading audiobooks, just kind of plodding along with it. So far I've been stuck reading The Black Prison for quite a while. I am very, very interested to see how this TBR is going to go down. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, whether you think that this is going to work. I think for whole months of reading this is quite an interesting mix. Possibly not the best mix of books. I'm really genuinely quite excited to read Sapiens and The Lives of Locke Lamora, which happen to be the biggest books. And I'm blatantly going to ignore one of the solid 6 rules that I set down for myself, which was that I can only pick 5 books if I pick a book over 500 pages. And I am loath to get rid of one of these books. My theory is that Sapiens is definitely going to slow me down. I think Crossings may be an interesting read, but I think Sex and Vanity I'm going to fly through. I think I'm going to fly through Pantomime, and I think I'm going to fly through The Light Over London. So I'm hoping, because 3 of these books I believe will be quick reads for me, I may be able to get away with not getting rid of one of these books. But if I fail dismally, then we will perhaps stick to that rule a little bit more strictly in the future. So let me know in the comments down below if you're planning on reading any of these, or if you've read any of these yourself and what you thought of them. But other than that, I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.